but also unlawful.
Question number 8, Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Conservation. Does he stand by all his statements regarding 1080?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Yes, as they are backed up by solid science. I draw the members' attention to the recent reports by the Environmental Protection Authority and the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment that conclude that if it is properly used, it is safe and it is critical to the survival of our native birds and our native trees. Members advocating a ban on aerial 1080 are indirectly signing a death warrant for our kiwi, our blue duck, our robin and our tui, as well as undermining our economy and the work of TB-free New Zealand to ensure our food exports are disease-free.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister. Given that DOC's own findings, as reported in the New Zealand Herald, show that almost 13% of kea will be killed by repellent-treated 1080 baits, is he happy that approximately 130 of the estimated 1,000 kea in the area of the Western Kahurangi, which is to be poisoned by his department, will be killed?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, it is true that in a 1080 operation in Otira, when they monitored the 39 kea, 5 were killed. It is also true, though, that in over 8 other 1080 operations, where every kea was monitored, including in the Kahurangi National Park, not a single kea died. The evidence seems to be that in areas where kea are humanly fed, that they can get into the habit of taking bait. More importantly, though, I'd point this out to the member. In areas where 1080 has not been used, 99% of kea chicks die to predation. 99%. That's a path to extinction. In areas where 1080 is used, 100% of kea chicks have survived in the first year and 68% in the second year, confirming that overall kea survival depends on the use of 1080.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister. Can he tell the House how many of the 13% of kea killed by repellent-treated 1080 died as a result of eating baits directly, and how many died from secondary poisoning after consuming insects which had been killed by 1080, and if not, why not?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I can only record as much as the science is available, and it is true that there is risk of both eating bait directly or of eating stoats or rats that are killed. But I would point out to the member that in the area of Kahurangi National Park in the Nelson region, where he is objecting to a 1080 operation, the last time a 1080 operation was done, not one of the monitored kea died, and secondly, and this is critical, we have just had a beech tree mast. Most recent indications is that we have got the worst ever plague of rats within the Kahurangi National Park, and unless we treat with 1080, the great spotted kiwi and birds like kea and birds like blue duck will be wiped out if we do not proceed with that operation.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister. How many dead kea is an acceptable number of dead kea?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I would of course prefer that no kea died, just in the same way as I would prefer that no stoats or rats or possums killed kea chicks or kiwi chicks. The reality is, though, that when the science says that 99% of chicks will die from predation without 1080 operations, I'm happy to be part of a government that will back the science, back our native birds and use whatever tools we need to ensure that our native birds survive.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister. Is he aware that under the Wildlife Act 1953, the killing of any endangered or protected native bird is illegal, and if so, will his department face prosecution should it be found to have killed a protective native species from 1080 poison drops? And if not, why not?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
That question is about as stupid as suggesting that we prosecute the stoats, the rats and the possums that every single night kill our kea, our kiwi and our other native birds, and if that's what New Zealand First stands for, well, I'm lost.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, Richard Prosser.
Mr Speaker, my question was, will his department face prosecution? And the Minister did not answer that question.
No, but I think he gave you a very fair answer of the likelihood of that happening. Question number 9, Gareth Hughes.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the